Yo, first of all, what up, man? How you doing, man? Congratulations on your success and what you're doing. But playing for both schools, it was a great experience. I started out at Mount Vernon. I ended up in Rochelle my senior year, but I played for Mount Vernon for 2 years total. I made the team as a sophomore. Our experience was good in Mount Vernon, man. We had a nice little crew. I was coming over the backup point guard. Uh, you know, uh, it was great competition. We had a nice little crew. We did that a lot. We came up playing basketball, man. So and we all started out as little kids together. So I figured the chemistry would be as good, better when we got older. You know what I'm saying? Rivalry would take. Well, it was a special one for me, man, because I was on both sides of the coin. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot different. Like when you set up for games, the hype is a little different, right? I was in both high schools, like Mount Vernon. Like we ready, we walking around, we focused. Rochelle is focused too. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I'm saying. I didn't have a lot. I didn't have a lot of time with those guys. You know what I'm saying? So their preparation was different than my preparation for the game because I was fighting two entities at the time. I was going against my friends or my brothers, as you say, and I had these new guys riding with me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if the energy was the same. I'm saying not to talk about anything like that, but I came in there with a different point of view. I wanted to win. You know what I'm saying? Like I really wanted to win. Wanted to. Oh, good question. The starting five was myself, uh, Rashawn Young, Rasheem Young, Jermaine Hughes, and my man Kevin Miller. Colin was my man, but me and him didn't play on the same team. In fact, I got him to come to Mount Vernon. And I exited out when he came in. But I started out with Rasul Salhuddin, Brian Pritchard, Derek Coleman, Eric Coleman, Larry Morrison, Corey Sorrells, Will Humphrey, Kalanji Murray, and a couple of and Ron Williams was our big man, our big guy. You know what I'm saying? Well, I want to start off with saying like Mount Vernon was 29-0 that year when I left, and I feel I could have been a major part of that team. But when I was on the Huguenots, we lost to them by 1 point, man. So I want to say to everybody, man, hit your fucking foul shots, man. Shoot your foul shots, make your foul shots, man. Foul shots win games, man. Everybody forget the craft of the art of the basics. You know what I'm saying? You got to make your foul shots, man, and it changes the game, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's about it. All day long, and I like to thank you, Ed, for taking out the time and asking me to do this, man. You know what I'm saying? Got a kind of a bad reception, but I'm always with you, boy. Anything for you, man. You know that.
My brother, I appreciate you. Love you, Bugs. No doubt.
Love you more, Ed. One.
My man, one.
Undefeated, man, until we had one senior on our basketball team, man. Me and Curtis Moore, we was the champions all our lives. And then when we met Cornbread and them, we got with Cornbread, Ricky Burton, Fred Benjamin, Dow Blackstar, Colin Samuels, Wayne Will. We got with Kirby George. We got with Derek Dunston, Derek King, all of the Derricks and all that, right? But we was never losing, bro. We never lost until we got in 11th grade, man. We lost our first game, man. Tony Taylor dribbled the ball off his foot with 10 seconds left. We down by 1 against Beat Skill, man. That was the worst game in our lifetime, bro. But Tony, don't get it wrong. He can shoot and everything, but that was just one game. I guess he was a little jealous, man. I was MVP and all that, Cornbread had busted his ribs up, so, we had all went on a football team. Me, Smiley, and Cornbread. We went and played on the Mount Vernon Knights football. And then he got hit. He threw him a pass. He jumped in the air. They cracked and broke his ribs, right? After that, me and Smiley, Ricky Burton, Fred Benjamin, we had a new start, a new face on the court with us, Tony Taylor and shit. But he was the only senior, man. And, we We never lost a game until that game, bro. You know, the dudes was crying in the locker room. We undefeated, man. We beat Ed Pickney and them by about 20, 30. We beat Ralph Sampson and them by about 30 or something. You know what I mean? We beat Ed Pickney, Ralph Sampson, Walter Berry, Johnny Dawkins cracked Cornbread, hit 38 against him and shit. Dawkins, they had another kid named Napoleon Lightning, and they had this other big kid, like 6'7" or something. He was giving it to Fred, like two people. One person gave Rick Burton 38, and the other one gave Cornbread 38. I couldn't hold both of them. I held one dude that was Napoleon, that Johnny Dawkins, second guard. I had to hold him down because he was a beast too. So, you know what I mean? That was the game we lost then. That's the second game we lost, right? But when we beat Chris Mellors and them, they tried to take the game from us because we hit the banker double overtime. We hit the three-pointer bong, but it was only 3 points because we got fouled. The ball went in. The Millers made us take it out on the side on a double overtime. We down by one, and the ball went in, and the foul was called. They cheated us out of the game, so they gave us a tie with Chris Mellors and them. But you know what I mean? We the first team to ever kick down the doors at Madison Square Garden. You know what I mean? Mount Vernon Knights. You know, we was bad boys, man. We couldn't get beat, man. And then in the summer leagues and recs, we used to go down to Millbanks, go down all in Harlem, go anywhere in the world and ball, get names and shit. Little world be free, you know what I mean? They gave all kinds of names to us and shit. So everywhere we go, we was cracking them, man. Greenberg, Mount Vernon, Bronx, Harlem, anywhere, you know what I mean? We couldn't be stopped. You know, used to be ball games going on with Gus and them in the park. Tootie and them be betting money on me and Smiley on the side courts, and everybody be watching us on the side courts than to watch the games going on. Maybe having more woos and wahs going on and shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, we used to go in the gym, man. People used to just be scared of us, man. Like, it seemed like they were scared of us. Like, even we beat teams by 30, 40, 50 points, 60 points. You know what I mean? And we wasn't even playing hard and shit like that. Like, you know, we started a riot. It was a riot with New Road and Mount Vernon. First play of the game, alley-oop to Smiley. Boom! The crowd go crazy. Second play, I hit the ball of Cornbread. We threw the press on him. Hit the ball of Cornbread. He get it. He throw it to me. I'm going down. I take off from too far away from the rim. I was too far, but I took off anyway. I don't know if I was in the foul line or somewhere, but I hit the ball, hit the back of the rim, bam, and went all the way to half court. It was started a riot. Everybody started fighting, shooting, stabbing each other and everything, man. And then nobody could visit no more New Rochelle and Mount Vernon games, B. That was the end of it. Football, they closed down Memorial Field. We couldn't go. No visitors watching the games with Mount Vernon and New Road, B. It was terrible growing up with New Road. All the time. They had classes in the back of our school, right? Auto photography, mechanics, wood shop, electrical engineer. We had all of the classes like that in the back of the school. So they used to come to the school. The nerve of them. They used to get ran. Some of them used to have to run to New Rochelle from Mount Vernon. A lot of them couldn't even make it home and shit. So a lot of them had to friend us. You feel me? They had to friend me, B. And when they friend me, Gerald Draper, your Cowboy fan, yeah, he had to friend me, or else he couldn't come in Mount Vernon and mess with his wife. Today, he couldn't come to Mount Vernon today if it wasn't for me, yo. A lot of them kids, man. Man, hell no. Carl Watkins was a little boy to us, man. He couldn't walk on no court with none of us. Like, he was not nice like that to be on the team with us. Like, we was all that real shit. Like, everywhere we went, people already was scared before we even got on the court. Nah, he came from somewhere else, and they came from somewhere else. They wasn't around Mount Vernon ball plays. Anyway, they couldn't even play ball in their park because of Mike Lovelace. I used to go down there and have to take the ball from the dude to give to them so they can play basketball in their own park with their own ball. So the white niggas know they better have love for me, yo. Them niggas better have love for me. And you know Sean Dew is the realest motherfucker out of all of them niggas out there. Sean Dew is the realest, B. He'll tell you, man, I came down there to fight this nigga Mike Lovett, and he was on the court with their ball, and all of them was sitting around the court, and nobody was playing ball but this nigga, and he couldn't even play ball. He could play ball on his court. So I went over there on the court and took the ball from him and told all of them they could play ball now. And now all of them want to come on the court and play ball. That's a real story, true story there.
Wow.
No lie, baby. A lot of them niggas couldn't come to 4th Street. The niggas had to have passes. They had to be with somebody from the projects to come in the projects. You feel me? Come to 4th Street and shit. Even we had to get permission to go to 4th Street. So, you know what I mean? We had to sneak over there playing Ringling Coco and shit. You chase me, I run in 4th Street. You can't find me all night long because I'm in 4th Street and you can't come in 4th Street to get me.
Oh,
you know
man.
what I mean? Buckeye, man. I love Buckeye, man. We used to go ball. He used to go balling all over. They call him All-World. They call him All-World first. When he went down there and played with Coach Leutch in them, Riverside, he went down there. They started calling him All-World first. But see, I had Spanish shit on my balls. Like I had a different kind of game than Buckeye. Buckeye had a nice shot. I had a nice pass. I was fast. I jump high. I like to freak in the air. I like to hang in the air. And, you know what I mean? Then dish the ball off. I might hit you when you ain't looking. Bow, hit you in the face. You know what I mean? Then laugh at you or something. You know what I mean? But, yo, we the baddest motherfuckers in the world when you think about it because our starting 5 is the only 5 in the country that all 5 players went to 5-star McDonald's All-American camp in the time when we went in 1980. We went in 1980. Yeah, that's when all of them niggas, Patrick Ewing, Billy Wine, Billy Owens, Adrian Branch, like all of them, Johnny Dawkins, Kenny Patterson, Kenny Smalley, and Patrick Ewing had MVP of the whole league, the whole tournament.
Wow.
Now that's big shit. I was honorable mention both on offense and defense, the most honorable mention. Now, tell me that wasn't some big time shit out there playing with 5-star. Rich Mel, all of them that went in the NBA, them niggas try to hold us and give that black cloud over our heads because they knew. 5, Fred Benjamin, Ricky Burton, Curtis Moore, Donald Russell, and myself. All 5 of us was in McDonald's All-American 5-star.
Wow.
All players. And nobody couldn't do nothing with us. If we would have been on a team and played against any other team there, we would have cracked any other team there at the time. Yeah, they put us all on different teams. I was on a team with Adrian Branch and Billy Owen and all of them dudes. I was on a different team. Wow. Everybody was on a different team there. Yeah. But we had fun. Like the coaches, Huey Brown, Chuck, look, Higgle, funny, Higgle, some funny shit. They gonna say, can't nobody Chuck Brown, Huey Brown. He gonna say, can't nobody stick Kenny Patterson because his handles was crazy and all this and that, right? Ricky Burton and them yelling, Steph, get him, Steph, get him, Steph. So I get up, Ferentino, look at me, get him, Steph. I get up there now. I'm playing D. He trying to tell me get all the way up on him. So I got all the way up on him, drove him out of line, out of bounds, go around the baseline after he went out of bounds and go make the layup. So I went over there, put my elbows on the rim and shit, on the backboard like that. Oh, don't you do that. Don't do that. Kenny Patterson, don't you do that. And then I gave him a step. I said, nah, you Chuck Brown, Huey Brown, one of them, Chuck, it was Huey Brown. I said, nah, I'm not getting all the way up on him. I'm going to give him one step. So his next step will be out of bounds and I'll still be inbound. Ferentino and shit. He looked at Ferentino and Ferentino said, yeah, he know what he's talking about. He do that on the regular. Yo, so he goes and do that again. He goes over there again, yo. I tried to eat that ball through the backboard, yo, with my face and everything. Yeah. None of the coaches did neither. All of the coaches was there. Don't forget, we was promised the NBA because all of the coaches was there. All of the NBA coaches, all the coaches, all of them was there.
Right.
That's how we got so many scholarships.
Right.
To all schools, all of the country. We had scholarships to all of the schools, to every school in the country.
Wow.
We was them niggas, man. We was those dudes, man. Like, for real, we couldn't be beat. We come to your home games, and they already be like, you know you're going to lose to the other team. And sometimes our bench be in there, like, we'll put the bench in, and the bench should be cracking them by 20 or 30. That's how bad we was. Like, you could put anybody in the game at any time, and it wouldn't stop the flow of the game.
Wow.
It might pick it up.
Right.
Jeff Ruff, and Dal Perez. Dal Perez, because he used to kick you, punch you, he used to do everything. Punch you in your stomach while you dribbling. He used to do everything, and then when the ref called foul, he'd say, I know I fouled him, what you calling for? I've been doing this all game. Yo, one time he pulled out a gun against the ref, like he was the craziest dude. Dal Perez, the whole team had to kick him off the team when we played against him. This to pull out a gun and everything, man.
Wow.
While we playing in high school, man.
Wow.
And then Jeff, I say Jeff because Jeff was fast, but he didn't have no hops. So he could be running as fast as he wanted. He come near me, I just hop one. And then I'll be all the way over. He'd be reading the bottom of my sneakers.
What about Clyde Vaughn?
Clyde Vaughn was Ricky Burton nightmare. Clyde Vaughn shoot that motherfucker. He shoot the whole net off of that motherfucker. Yo, and you be beating them up. They be kicking him. They was kicking Clyde Vaughn all in the elbows on the arm. He's still hitting all net. Pow! He hit 38 too against Rick Burton. Those are the 38 people who they never beat us, but he hit 38 against Rick Burton. Chris Mellons hit 38. Johnny Dawkins hit 38 against Cornbread. And they all hit 38. Ted had 38 against Fred. Yeah, they would have stopped him one man. They wouldn't have never been close.
Right.
They couldn't stop that motherfucking Chris Mellons. They couldn't. I even blocked Chris Mellons' shot from behind Rick one time and yell at Rick, "This is what you're supposed to do, Rick. Block that. You friends with this huh?" I said, Rick, you friends with this? Smiley on him, and you go get the other man.
Right.
We gotta change it up, man. Change it up. Smiley ain't gonna let Chris do this to him.
Right.
Yeah, man. We used to have fun on that court, boy. That court was a science, man. Carl Wask and all them dudes was after us. They wasn't with us. He out-aged, but he ain't. He wasn't all that for us. He wasn't ready to play with us. Like, he couldn't get on the court with us, man. Make no teams. He didn't make none of the teams that we had. The tryouts was open. You know what I mean? Never a night. Lamont was. Nah.
Okay.
Nah. Rodney Swain, like all of those dudes, man, they probably, and we had to play Jeff Rulin and them afterwards, right? So he walked out the locker room, and Rick says, "Yo, put your hand up." So he put his hand straight up. He said, "Steph, give him a high five." I put my hand way up in the air. Him and Ralph Sampson, the same thing. Yo, Rick did that shit to Ralph Sampson too, man. Yo, you want to hear some crazy? When I pinned Jeff Rulin on the backboard 3 times in a row, right? 3 times like this. 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, and the ref called foul. I said, "Ref, I didn't even foul him." He said, "No, it's illegal for you to be blocking his shot. You ain't supposed to block his shot." I said, "Oh, shit. Ferentino, you hear this? This your boy right here, Ferentino? Is this your boy here against me with you?"
Wow.
In 4th Street, like Charlie Holcomb, he used to shoot down in the rim. He used to jump so high over the rim, he used to shoot down in the rim. You know what I mean? Earl Tatum used to have me pass him the ball all night long and never let me shoot. I used to get mad at him. Yo, the only thing was good about it never missed, so I didn't have to run all around the court. We sitting in Ferentino classroom, right? And he had all the scholarships and letters in the desk he didn't give to us. So he left out of his classroom, and I broke into the drawer and took all of them scholarships and went downstairs and was passing them out to everybody in the cafeteria. No, he's mad at me. He got mad at me, but he couldn't do nothing about it. I had to play, baby. He said, I had to play. He couldn't even leave me on the bench the whole game or something would have happened. Yo, one thing about the team, they stuck together with us, boy. We all stuck together. It was real shit. If one of us wasn't in there, none of us want to be in there, you know? 1981, Blackwood gave a parade and gave us the key to the town of Mount Vernon. That's what he gave to the Mount Vernon Knights basketball. And that's what we brought to the table. So with Lowe's and all of them, they got them on the legend wall, but the real legends is the one who brought the whole thing home to. That's what we brought, the keys home. We didn't play no game. We brought keys home. And Smiley went and played with Portland for 1 year, and that's it. And Rick Burton went to a junior college, then he went to his Seed Hall. And Cornbread went to UMass and broke all the Dr. J records. And I went to Norfolk State and broke some shit on recreation.
All right, Steph. All right, no doubt. Right. All right. Much love, King. Much love.
My whole career started, man, when my mom's had me at 16, past 15s, had me in the womb. This is the story she told me. Half court. She was playing ball, 16 years old, hit a half court jump shot, so that's how I kick it in the wall after that. So and ever since then, man, you know, my life didn't change, man, you know. My man Jimmy Jones, man. Jimmy Jones, man. My father and Jimmy Jones are best friends. Jimmy Jones is the boys club, was the director of the boys club back in the day. And my pops and him, we grew up as childhood buddies. I didn't know. And I was a little 6th grade cat, you know. And Pops introduced me to Jimmy Jones. You know, so once Pops introduced me to Jimmy Jones, and my Pops said, yo, take care of my son. He you know, cause I ain't got no brothers and sisters. So you know, Pops said, take care of my son, Jimmy. And once I joined the boys club, you know, my life didn't change. Man, I was in the 5th grade, man, maybe 4th grade at Robert Fulton, man. You know, Fulton Avenue, Fulton Park, Franklin and Fulton. I was like 6th to the 4th grade. You know, not even knowing about the game yet, man. You know what I'm saying? And he introduced me to the boys club. You know, and that's where it basically started, man. Just going to the boys club, man. You know, just playing basketball, man. But before that, man, check it out. Since I was the only child, right? No brothers and sisters, and you know, nobody to argue with, nobody to play with. You know what I'm saying? And I got introduced to basketball because, you know, that's the only game, man, that I can go to the park and play one-on-one and put my imagination. As a little kid, man, dribbling the ball just to get out the house. Because I ain't had no brothers that want to get out the house and play. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, man, football, I never got into football because there's always two people. There's always two people. You got to catch. They got to throw you the ball. So football never was my thing. Baseball, you just need two people in baseball, man. I'm the only kid. Remember, I ain't got no brothers. You know, my step-pop wasn't athletic. He didn't care.
Right.
Man, it was just something about, you know, God was like, yo, you're a lonely kid. You're an only child. You know what I'm saying? So it's just me and the basketball was my outlet just to get out the house and play. You know, they was looking at me. They was following me.
JV, and then varsity, right? But I was recognized in middle school, you know, Mount Vernon Squires. And in 1978, we was 26-0. There was no recognition. We was a middle school team, 26-0. As Rodney and them won the championships, and I think they were 29-0 or something. They won the federation and everything. We also was 26-0 at that time, at that year, you know. So, you know, at that time, I was in the 8th grade. High school, Davis switched. I was in the high school in the 8th grade. I was in Mount Vernon High School in the 8th grade because it was the middle school wing. We had a little wing in the corner of Mount Vernon High School. And I used to have my squire uniform on, you know, walk in the building, man. I used to have it on a hanger, man, like at the cleaners, everybody know. This is Mount Vernon Middle School squad right here, yeah. You know, me, Ernest Monroe, and a couple of guys that went to was at the high school at that time. And that's when first time I met Rodney, you know, in the locker room, man. Yeah, man. 8th grade. I was in the 8th grade at the high school. You know what I'm saying? And they was warming up, man, and I was coming through there, man, you know, just, you know, and I happened to meet him, and like, wow, okay. Like I said, we went undefeated. That year, we had a lot of talented brothers, man, you know. I know me, Ernest, Thomas Crawford, Robert Scott, you know, we all made it, you know. But I'm going to get to Lou Hill, though. I'm going to get to Lou Hill's story, man, because Lou didn't come from Mount Vernon middle school squad with us. He wasn't a part of that, you know. Lou was a part of coming from down south, coming up here and joining the Pacers, the YMCA Pacers, you know. That's what my introduction to Lou. Because he didn't come from middle school. At that time, he came from down south in the 9th grade. Around the 9th grade, man, that's when I was introduced to him, man, with Lou. You know, because we did the boys club, Jimmy Jones. You know, Jimmy Jones took us to, you know, because my father introduced me to Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Jones made sure I was on the teams, working now, and you know, he realized I had some skills because of my going to the park by myself, practicing my skills by myself, you know, learning this by myself. And when I got to the boys club, Jimmy like, oh, okay, well, and that's when we started. Jim was putting us to these tournaments. You know, I won the most valuable player at Iona College, because our middle school played at Iona College. You know, right before East Carolina and Iona played, and I found out that I was the most valuable player, and so I had to wait to halftime to present my award. And matter of fact, to this day, this the only plaque that I got to this day, man. You know, all these years, I still got that plaque. You know what I'm saying? It was just St. Christopher, man. And that started my recognition of, you know, because I was always in the articles in the papers, man. You know, because we was undefeated. So you're an undefeated team, but I was always on top of playing. My name and, you know, my scores was always high, and like, you know, even though we had some talented brothers, man. And that's how I got recognized, man. You know, when I got to high school in the 9th grade. You know, Ernest Monroe, Lou Hill. You know, Donald Greenland, Iceman, Donald Greenland.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
James Lloyd.
Okay.
You know, and Zeke Clark, man.
That's a nice little crew right there.
They got me right, man. They got me right, man. Especially on the guard spots, man. My senior year, you know, Derek Owens and Tony Dinkins and them cats, man. You know, they came right after Cornbread. You know, their junior year with Cornbread and Stephon and Smalley, you know, they was dominant. Our JV was coming up, but once they left, Cornbread and Smalley and Ricky Bergen and them, you know, once they left, cause they was raising the ball. I'm like behind them. I'm like, okay, I'm liking this. We gonna be good. They was good. Oh man. That whole experience, man, just to being on that Mount Vernon squad, just to being a part of Mount Vernon squad, man. It was like it opened up all-star teams for me on the outside. Once I made the varsity, you know, and being a part of Mount Vernon, on the offside of that, you know, just the name got me in the doors of trying out for all-star teams. You know what I'm saying? Just to name Mount Vernon that you're a player, we're gonna invite you to try out for these all-star teams. You know, in the all-star team that I tried out just because, you know, I'm Mount Vernon. I'm a headliner now, you know. Lou Hill is the real headliner. After Lou Hill, then we come. I made one of the all-star teams, and Lou Hill made the other all-star team, man. You know, and that's when, and at that year, it was 83. Matter of fact, it was my senior year. It's
Okay.
83. And that's the year, man. We went up against some of the greatest, man. You know, the Pearl Washington, the Mark Jackson, the Kenny Smith, you know, the old Polynese, you know, because we made that all-star team.
Got you.
Our senior year, so, you know, playing with those cats, man, was experience, man, and it just got me better, man. Just until we came upon our senior year, man. The rivalry, man, Lurch, man, Darren Rowan, and E-Banks, and oh, man, you know, Yonkers, it was always tough games, man. Oh, but I'm gonna tell you one game, man. I played with Lurch, and Benji probably came right behind him. If Benji would play, Lurch was the man in E-Banks in 83. Benji probably came right in 84. I'm gonna tell you one game, man. One game we lost to, man, that was so embarrassing, man. That was so embarrassed, man. And Lou Hill took a. Yeah, he took a heartfelt loss on that, man. You know, I mean, it wasn't his fault, but Marinate. We lost to Marinate, man.
Yo, you know, it's funny how hard we worked and the goals that we set for ourselves, man. When we was growing up, man, we just wanted to play ball, man. Man, I used to tell Rodney, man, go see him, Mickler, yo, look, where we gonna ball at today? You know, where we going? We leave the Hollow, go to the Jets. We go over to Lincoln Park, go to City Park, it was wherever. We were so desperate sometimes to play ball, we would go down to Stevenson Boulevard over there and play ball with all the white kids. That's what happened, because I remember, when I first met Rodney, Byron, and them all, I couldn't play basketball for a lick. And I couldn't do nothing. Like, I couldn't dribble, couldn't shoot, I couldn't do nothing. I'm like 7 years old. I was a big country boy that can actually jump. That's all I could do. Big country boy that can jump. And, you know, I remember they used to put me in games just so I could rebound. I couldn't score, I couldn't do nothing. Man, I got so mad, I got tired of that, man. I'm like, yo, I could do better than this. I started working. I was playing in rain every day, man. Everything. In junior high school, I started in 79. Because 83, 84, 85, we was in the high. So 79. I remember we used to play, and as I would play, it was always like, Jimmy can jump. That's it. Then I started working on my shot. You know, I used to lose to Byron, Rodney Mango, Stephen Mango. I used to lose to them all the time. I was bigger, but I just couldn't do nothing. And, you know, one day I just got fed up, man. I just said, you know what? I got to get better. And as I started to get better, I started to understand the game. I started to figure out how to position my body, how to shoot, where I should be aiming for. All those things started to come in because there was nights I was on the basketball court in the rain. You know, because in the hollow, we had that little court on the side where it is. I used to be out there all the time in the rain. And I just kept playing and playing. And then slowly but surely, I started to beat Rodney. I started to beat BK. You know, I started to beat Richie Page. And I'm like, okay. And then I was always a little bit taller than most of them, except for Byron. And, you know, Troy Chambers and them. So I wasn't as big as them. But then once I realized I could jump higher than them, it just made it easier. You know what I'm saying? The shots I got was because I was more athletic than they were in basketball, you know. And when I got to junior high school, I remember we was playing, and we was playing against Lou Tucker, Lamont Watkins, all of them in Mount Vernon, and they was nice. Man, they was nice. I always was afraid of them, but some of the fact is that they had 7, 8 guys that could flat out ball. We had just the 5 hollow kids that could ball. And you know how that went, man. You know how that went. You know, it was like, oh, man. And I remember one game, I had a really good game against Mount Vernon. And people was like, oh, Jimmy can play, man. Where'd that come from? I'm like, I don't know. But I guess the competitiveness in me helped me get better. I'll say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I just said, you know what? I ain't that bad. I ain't that bad. And, you know, people don't know, before I really focused on basketball, I had everybody coming for me for football. People don't know that. I you know, in 7th, 8th grade, man, I was a quarterback on the freshman team, on the middle school team. I was throwing a 60-yard ball. Yeah, I was winging that football. We played Benji Jefferson because they was on Albert Leonard. Albert Leonard was huge. And I was on one play, man. I was on the run on a rollout, and I threw it 60 yards, dead strike to big. And he caught that. It was like, wow, they was impressed. And my 8th grade year, the varsity coach asked me to come on varsity, and I was like, nah, I'm good. You know, I'm good. And, you know, I was good because, well, I don't want to leave my friends. You know how that go. You know how that go, man. I would say like 79, I started to actually really show I could play. About time I was in high school, my 10th grade year, I was on a team with Byron, Kershaw. I was on a team with Rodney Mango, Stephen Mickler. We was all playing. And JV, we was loaded. Only team that we thought could beat us was Mount Vernon because they come to play like we do. So it could be one day we could be winning. Next day they going to be winning because we all come to play. That my 10th grade year, we had Mecca was the head coach of varsity, and they had Darren Rowe. Mecca came to me because I was averaging 34 game on JB. And I remember we had played in a couple of Christmas tournaments because back then we played more games and we got out more to different places. And I won MVP in all 5 of them. 5 tournaments we had, Christmas tournaments. And the only team that really gave me a challenge was White Plains at that time because we hadn't played Mount Vernon yet. And then a kid named Steve Morgan. Remember him?
Yes.
Big Morgan. That boy, he was big, he was physical, and he was tough. And I remember me and him went toe-to-toe one game in the championship at the White Plains Classic. And we beat them by like 8. And that was something. And right after that tournament, I really shot up because Rodney Mango, Stephen Mickler, all of them quit the JV team. So I was the only one left. And as funny as it is, I was going to quit too. Because I was like, my friends quit, I'm quitting. But I got in trouble. And by getting in trouble, I got suspended for 2 days. And when I came back, the principal came to me and said, I heard you can play basketball. I was like, yeah. He says, who told you to quit? I said, I didn't quit, but I was suspended, which I didn't quit, but that's what everybody thought. So I just went on playing. They took off from there. I mean, I think I did exceptionally well. I averaged 30 a game on JV. You know, that's not normal for a young kid because you're still learning. Think about it. We still learn how to play basketball when we, 14, right. 15. You know, so you're learning how to play. And then that year went good. They brought me up. I was on varsity when they had Darren Rowe, Johnny Banks, and all of them. So they was loaded. And I went up and became sixth man on the team. So I was getting run just after playing the whole season on JV before anybody else. So, because Mecca really liked me. You know, and that was something to see. But the thing that really helped me grow, after that 10th grade year, I actually quit school. People don't know that. Yeah, I quit school. What it was, you know, my family wasn't financially set. We was, you know, on public assistance and so on and so on. So my cousin got me a job at McDonald's. So I stopped going to school and started just working at McDonald's because I'm like, we need money. We got no food in the house. So we had no food in the house. I didn't have much clothes to wear because I didn't have it, you know. And I remember one day I was sitting in McDonald's. I had just went on break, and Nat Harris came in there. And he came there, he said, Jimmy, I've been looking for you. I'm like, okay, because I'm like, hey, I'm in trouble. But I had quit school, so I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So he came to me and said, Jimmy, you know, what are you doing? I said, Coach. I explained the scenario. I said, look at it like this. My mother's a single parent. I got 5 brothers and sisters. We ain't got no food on the table. Got no clothes. I'm wearing my brother's clothes. He's wearing mine. He stopped going to school because I ended up helping him get a job at McDonald's. So he's 16, I'm 17. We both working. Yeah. So when I did that, he came to me and said, let me tell you something. You have way too much talent to not be playing basketball. He said, you can actually do something with this. And I'm like, I don't know, Coach, because I've had family members, older family members. You know, older family members from the South, they tell you, you're gonna gotta get a job. You ain't gonna be playing nothing. You ain't gonna do none of that stuff. So I had that going on in my life. I had my mother, who we didn't have food, but once I started working, we actually got better because now I'm working and I'm getting $80 a week. That was like tons of money. So my brother's getting $60, $70, and now we got something that we never had. Got food on the table. We buying a little bit of clothes. Most of the bills are paid. We wasn't wealthy, but we had something compared to where we was. Lights are not turned off, and you know, and those are the things that I got to. But by Nat Harris and Jim Bostic coming to get me and letting me know that I have more to offer to life than what I was showing. And that hit me home because my own father at the time was nowhere to be found. I knew who he was. I knew he lived somewhere in Mount Vernon, but I never saw him. So if I'm hungry, he ain't bringing me food. So I had to step up and do what I had to do for my family so that I can make sure my family was good, you know, and that was more important to me than anything else. But when Nat Harris talked to me that day, and Boston came and talked to me, and they said, look, this is what we want you to do. And they said, what do we need to do so you can come back to school and do something with your life? And I said to him, Coach, all I really need is I just need clothes. I was like, you know, as a 16, 17-year-old boy going to high school, and I'm wearing the same pants 2 or 3 days, man, that, you know what kids are. I was like, man, and that right there was the turning point in my life. You know, that was believing in me more than I believed in myself. You know, Nat Harris has always been a father figure to me. And Bostic was like, he was that guy that says, you know what? I know I've seen talented guys, but I think there's something different about you. And I'm like, wow. So when they did that, they actually took me to a clothing store. and got me all the clothes I needed. And the guy that owned the clothes store gave them to me for free, so they didn't have to pay for it. So that happened, and then anytime after games, if I was a little hungry or something, they would always ask me to make sure I was good. And I told them I was good because what I ended up doing was I kept the McDonald's job. So when I left practice at night, I would go work for like 3-4 hours and then go home. And I did that until while the season was in and going on. And I worked Sundays because we always had that practice off because I said, I still want to help my family. And when Bostic and them did that, it changed my outlook on life. It changed how I saw things. I believed in myself a lot more. And when you believe in yourself more, you give more. Okay? And the pinnacle of all this, scoring all the points and stuff like that, getting the accolades are all great, and it's an honor. But when you have people that believe in you, it's way more important than what basketball could have done for me. It helped me see the world. It helped me learn about different people. But when you have people that believe in you, you can see more things than you ever could. I don't think if I didn't have Nat Harris and Jim Bostic as people that was helping me and saw something different in me, I might not be married today. I might not have kids. I might have kids but don't even know where they are. These are things that you need strong role models in your life to be there for. You need people to take an interest in you. So then when you see that, you'll start taking interest in other kids. And you will make sure other kids are not going through the scenarios that you went through and try to show them there is a better way. There's a different path to everything that we do. We just make choices. And sometimes because we are so afraid and so intimidated by being wrong that we don't take a chance on making that right choice. And with those guys making a choice on me, it made me see that even though if I do make the wrong choice, I still can go forward. I still can move in a direction that's going to be positive to me and my family. But those things was like the pinnacle of everything I did. Now, basketball-wise, scoring points was easy. I had guys, John, Richie Page, Ben Son, Byron. All I had to do was just run and catch the ball. They did a lot of the work. And, people always used to ask me, well, you was good. I said, but guys, I wouldn't be good if I didn't have those guys pushing that ball. That game against Kingston, if you was to ask Richie, I missed my first 9 shots, and then I go 26 in a row. I mean, I'm like, wow. But Richie always put me in the best position. Byron always gave me the ball at the right spots. All I was doing was just taking it and putting it in the basket. I think about those guys with things like that. I think about Rodney Mango, Stephen Mickler. They made me have a shot. They taught me how to shoot. They kept saying, you got to shoot this way. Those guys helped me more than they was helping themselves. Nat Harris, me, I'm just going to the park all the time and work on fundamentals. Because I've never been a guy that wants to dribble and shake the ball all day long because to me, I'm just tiring myself out. While if a good defender, he's just waiting for me to make a move. And he's resting and I'm going crazy. And Bostic always, every year, he always tried to add something different to my game. He used to always tell me, if you drive more, you'll do this. If you work on your mid-range game, you can be able to do this. If you use your left hand, so you can do this. This angle over here will help you. If you use this angle, this angle going to the basket, cut off the rim. All those little things that he was teaching me as I started to get in college and started to play, I really saw what it meant. Because I remember playing at my 1 year at Westchester Community College. I had a team that was so loaded, Ed, man. You remember D-Mac, Down McDonald. That guy was so good. I had this kid, Mike Nemhart.
Yeah, right.
I put him. He was 6'7", smooth as ice, man. I'm like, and I had some guys that can flat out play. And, we at JUCO, we on number 14 in the country in JUCO. We was beating teams by 30. And I remember we was down in South Carolina. We was playing this team, and they had some shooters. They could shoot. This JUCO, these guys could flat out shoot. One of the kids went to Auburn. I forgot his name. He was starting 2 guard. He was just a 3-point specialist. And I remember that game vivid. We was losing at halftime, and Coach Arrieta we went in the locker room, and I think I had like 10 points, and he went to every single player and said, let me tell every one of y'all something. I want Jimmy taking every other shot. And I'm looking at this man like, what? Like every other shot. And it was funny because, D-Mac never really, he shot, but he didn't go crazy. D-Mac was more that layup, dunk on you in a heartbeat. He could pass his ass off. That guy can flat out pass that ball away. And when he did that, it was funny because we still lost the game. I ended up with 42, and I'm like, and Coach Arrieta went to the guys and said, do you understand why he needs to touch the ball? Because I think I missed like 5 shots, but it was like all the stuff that Boston taught me, that Harris taught me, and understanding how guys are guarding you, understanding where your angles are, understanding their weight distribution, where they leaning on you, all those things, it became instinctively. And I mean, I'm just going to the basket, left hand, right hand, laying guys, pulling from 3, nailing it. It's like, and that was the pinnacle of, wow, I do belong in college. Like sometimes you playing with a bunch of guys, you just the guy that don't want his guard. But when you have a coach say to you, I want him to take every other shot, that's like, wow, okay. And I'm like, but I believed in myself enough to know that if he's believing me, I'm going to do that. That was a good team. I love that team. It got me to A&M, which was, a lot of people don't know. I signed with A&M way before I played one game in Westchester. A&M got me the first week of school. I was on my way out to Texas to visit A&M, me and D-Mac. And then next thing you know, Syracuse, Jim Boeheim sends me a letter, St. Peter's. Now, all these schools, because I done signed already. And I averaged 26 a game in JUCO. It's not the 30s, but that's still enough for people to recognize who you are. And I dominated this kid. When I say I lit this kid's butt, I lit him up. But Metcalf had in his mind that's where he wanted to start. So every Saturday I would win the spot. Come Monday, and he started again. Every week. The last exhibition weekend scrimmage that we had, I had an off night. And in the off night, you said, okay, you had 2 points. I had 22. And the coach said, you didn't play well. I missed 4 shots, had 2-3 turnovers, don't get me wrong. And he was like, well, you didn't play well. I'm like, okay. I got benched. We go up to Norman, Oklahoma. They have Mookie Blele, Stacey King, Horace Grant, all them cats is up in there. One of the nicest kids that didn't make the NBA, this kid named Tim McAllister, 6'4", can flat out shoot. But he also was so strong going to the basket. Was like, yo, how do you stop this guy? And that kid Anthony Booker started. So I'm on the bench. I'm just sitting there. You know how you sitting there? You're like, yeah, I'm in college. I ain't getting no run. So we got down about 15. And this kid Booker had 1.9 turnovers. So, and he's running the point, which he didn't have to do because D-Mac was running the point. When he ran the point, the team ran better. So he takes him out. He puts me in the game. He tells him, watch Jimmy. And I'm like, what do you mean watch Jimmy? Like, he's the starter. I should be watching him. I had 7 points in 2 minutes. And that was because I understood what I needed to do, and I understood who was guarding me and where I should be. And those are the things that he was trying to tell him. But then I'm like, I got frustrated because I said to the assistant coach after the game, it's like, why is he playing? He says, Jimmy, I don't know. So next game, we playing Arkansas. I got 28 at halftime. He says to me, you ain't starting the rest of the game. You ain't playing the rest of the game because Dow's looking for you too much. Everything I ran came off our offensive set. It wasn't like I'm going somewhere and Dow just throwing it to me. I'm like, coach, to make a long story short, I probably should have transferred that after that year because Nolan Richards had asked me to come there. And I said, nah. But once again, I was scared because I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to be. I said, nah, I'm good. I'll stay where I'm at. And it was fun. A&M was good. I had a couple of games where I had double figures. I had some really good moments. A&M. kid, remember Cato Armstrong, who played the point for SMU? He dropped 50 on North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I dunked on him twice in SMU. Ripped him mid-court, dunked on him twice.
Wow.
First time he said, "You'll never do that again." Come down court, did it again. I picked him. And he said to me after the game, "How did you catch me?" I said, "You're crossing over in front of me." I was like, all I had to do was wait for that cross, and I got you. He says, "How did you know?" I said, "I actually pay attention when film study." So, and he said, "But I didn't know you can jump as high as you did." I was like, well, a lot of people don't know that. You know, I had a good game against Baylor, even though I hit 2 threes to go in overtime and double overtime, and I missed the game-winning shot, and we lost by 1. You know, so college was fun. I had some fun moments. And then once I got out, I started doing, things that I thought was best and started raising the boys. I played a lot of summer league. Oh, man, I don't play summer league games all over the place. But you know how that scenario goes with us, man. I'm grateful for this moment. Grateful that, all the basketball we played, for all the guys that was part of it, Luke Tucker, Lamont Watkins, all those guys that we played with, Smiley, Lowesmore, all those guys was very instrumental into. And people don't realize how strong Mount Vernon basketball was. It was our leader, but New Rochelle wasn't that far behind. We didn't get as many guys wanting it so bad because Mount Vernon had set up the perfect culture for people wanting to be part of that culture. And a lot of people don't realize that you have to set that up. You can't just some areas get lucky where others build that culture. In your mindset, if you playing at Mount Vernon and you start, you got a chance to go somewhere. Right. And that's what Mount Vernon's always been about. It's always been about New Rochelle and Mount Vernon has some of the best rivalries, and I hate to admit it, but Mount Vernon's always had the upper hand because your guys are really was always that leader in that. Well, I remember Smiley, McCray brothers, all those cats. I'm like, where did Mount Vernon get these kids from? I was like, you think you got a chance, but you see some of the guys that walk out there, and they very talented. So you got talented guys, they're smart basketball players, and they got size, something that we never could get. But it was always something that we strive to be. Always strive. We can get like Mount Vernon. He says, "Do you know you got 62 points?" I'm like, 62 what? So you got 62 points. He said, "The record is 80. Do you want to get out?" I say, "No." I say, "That won't do nothing for me." And I had 16 rebounds, too. Yeah. See, for a guard. I used to tell people about you. I said, man, Ed was hard. Because Ed understood the game. He's taking away my angles and everything. I said, I have to catch him quickly. I can't think about it. I said, all my moves, anytime I get the ball, it's got to be a decisive, quick move. If I hesitate, then I'm going to give it up because he's already there. I was like, you don't have many guys at our age that understood basketball like that. And so you definitely part of my development, no matter how you look at it. There's very few guys actually could guard me, but you was one of them. Well, I just want to say, man, if you have a dream and you believe in yourself, don't ever let somebody take that away from you. Okay? Because if you don't believe, no one else will. The dream begins with you, not with anybody else. And that's me. All right? Oh, anytime, man. You take care, man.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Wheeler. I'm the mother of Sade King, who played for the Mount Vernon Lady Knights at the Mount Vernon High School in Mount Vernon, New York. Sade started playing basketball like around the age of 7 with her god brother, Von Allen, who was one of the Mount Vernon Knights, who accomplished championships under his belt, went on to play on to college. She started playing at Harley Park with him, and he came to me and said, he calls me Auntie, did you know that she can play ball like that? And I'm like, no, I didn't know. So we got her into playing basketball at the Mount Vernon Boys and Girls Club, which at the time, Mount Vernon only had everything for boys, nothing for girls. So she played with the boys all her life. Until finally she did play for a program in Fleetwood, which was a girls program. But then they started a girls program for AAU. So she played AAU. She was the first 7th grader in the Mount Vernon history of basketball to ever play for varsity basketball Lady Knights. She helped them win their first championship in 28 years. She was MVP of that game with 28 points against Osman, which is one of our rivals as well. Our biggest rivals is New Rochelle, as you know. It's not just for the boys, but it's not as deep for the girls. But it was fun, and it's not as bad as it used to be. Those were the good games. We loved when we had to play New Rochelle. They had some talented females on there as well. But it was really nice. It was really nice. Oh, it was just always something. That was just the talk of the town. Mount Vernon against New Rochelle. It was fun in a way, but then again, it wasn't fun because we had some times where things went really wrong, and then we had times when it was okay. But that was the thing back in the day. Mount Vernon against New Rochelle. And that lasted for a very long time. And it still is. That the boys that play now, when they play against Mount Vernon and New Rochelle, it's a big thing. Gyms are packed. Gyms are packed for those games. You got to get your ticket or get there early for those type of games. That's just one of our rivalries, and it's always been that way, and it still is to this day, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Okay, I just want to say I love my Mount Vernon. My Mount Vernon, New York is the best. Always will love Mount Vernon.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. One of the night's finest, Mrs. Tanya Wheeler. We appreciate you, Queen. Thank you for your time. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. I have the best job in the world at coaching at Mount Vernon because basketball is tradition. Basketball is religion here at Mount Vernon. And growing up in Mount Vernon, it's just exciting to be here. I've lived here my whole life, and it's a great place to be. The community really, really supports the team. The other day there was a rally for the governor. The governor's running for re-election, Governor Hochul, and I'm told that all the senators and the governor just kept yelling out, "Go Knights, go Knights, state champs." So it was music to my ears. Over the years, I coached when you played, when you were a youngster, on the CYO level, and I had a great time doing that. Quite a few of my players went on to be high school players, and that started to pique my interest, and I was asked by Marshall Reef to come on board and to be a high school coach, first at the summer league level. Then he asked me to do the JV. Did that for a while. Joe Galgano took over the reins. He stayed 3 years, then he left, and the position was open. It wasn't something I ever really wanted. I was just apprehensive, a little nervous that the new coach coming in might not want me. So that's why I put in for the job. And I think that's about 28, 29 years ago. And I absolutely love what I do now. Oh, I definitely treat it as a rivalry. To me, it transcends basketball. It's a lot more than basketball. I won't allow anything purple in my classroom. I won't allow anything purple on the court. Nowhere near that. One principal had on a purple tie. I explained to him that he can't do that. That's not proper. I live this rivalry. We've been very successful against them overall. We have, and in the last 20 times that we played, I think we won 18 out of the 20. So we do win more than we lose, but I relish the thought of winning each time we play them, and I definitely pass that on to my players. It's great. It's great that some people didn't consider it a rivalry at all, but I think it's more fun to consider it a rivalry, and we're going to keep doing that until I'm not here. Well, the undefeated, it's a sigh of relief because I've been on the other end. I've been on the other end where we've been undefeated the whole season and lost in the final game. So Undefeated is great, but winning the state is more exciting. Undefeated means you're perfect and you can boast forever, but you got to get that last game. I don't care if your record is 12-12. If you're in the position to win that chip, that's the ultimate. So our state championship runs, I've been fortunate, been part of quite a few of them. They're just special. This year was unique. I tell everybody, because at the start of the season it was shaky whether or not we were even going to be allowed to play basketball with the pandemic. Right. And then as time went on, first they were only allowing two parents per athlete in the gym. And it was just like a bad pickup atmosphere. So all of a sudden we went to Florida in December, and they were less restrictive, and then we came back and things started to open up. And before I know it, I looked, there's an article in the headline saying Mount Vernon is 9-0. What's going on? And my fellas, the squad, they just work so hard. They really buy in. They're dedicated. They listen. They listen to all the history, the tradition stories, and they know that they walk in the shoes of legends. And they, sometimes you could see how important it is for them to try to emulate those who were here in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. They want to be that person. They want to be that team. And the real it's pretty neat now. The battle cry or the thing to remember, they want to get to the wall. They want to have their picture on the wall in the gym. And that is an absolute bragging right that this year's past team, 24-0, they'll cherish the rest of their lives. They'll be bringing they bring their girlfriends in already when it's going up in December. Then they'll be bringing their wives, their kids, and their grandkids.
I love this, man. I love it, Coach.
It's an ultimate thrill to know a player that has come through your program and has made it to the pros. Probably the best player that I've coached is Ben Gordon, and he did his thing with us. He was fantastic. When he went on to UConn, it was a great scholarship, and I went and watched him practice for a while, and I'm thinking, okay, I know how good he was with us in Mount Vernon and in New York State. Where does he take the show from here? Does he keep getting better? How does that work? It was all questions in my mind, and he was just in a great atmosphere with Coach Calhoun at UConn, and won the national championship in 2004 and was drafted. So it's special to see that. Your players are reaching for goals, and just like my favorite moment of this year was the last minute of our championship game and the half hour that ensued after that, when you see the thrill of victory in your players' faces when they rush onto the court. Being drafted in the NBA, I think, is similar. Yeah, hated them bad boys. Yeah, honestly, people ask all the time, "You retiring? Did you retire yet?" Like when I haven't seen some people, and they know I've been teaching in Mount Vernon for a long time and coaching for even longer. I just want to make sure that I can always relate to the players, and I think I'm still really good at that. And nobody can outwork me, Ed. That I know. And as long as I'm able to do that 24/7, 365 with the Mount Vernon program, then I'm going to stick around a few more years. Well, Ed, there aren't many people, any players that I've seen. I regret not being able to coach you. You went hard. You were a real warrior, and it was a pleasure being around you always. So keep doing your thing and keep making us all proud.
Thank you so much, Coach Bob.
Okay, Ed, you take care now.
All right, you too.
Well, when you talk about rivalry, man, Mount Vernon, Rochelle, Mount Vernon, Yonkers, Mount Vernon, White Plains, it don't get no better than that for us in Westchester. Mount Vernon, though, was one of the few Westchester teams that could travel any borough, any state, and we become an instant rivalry with them. Think about it. Like, you got other teams like Rochelle, White Plains, Yonkers. They might have had like a year or two where they could compete with those, but Mount Vernon, year in, year out, can go to the city and play. Mount Vernon, right now, we're the only Westchester school that's a Nike school. That doesn't happen. We play within 4 square miles, Ed.
Right.
We play within 4. We don't, like, it's not like we live in the Bronx and we can live on 110th Street and go to school uptown. No, you got to live in 4 square miles. 4th Street was, you talk about, like, the Rucker, you talk about Whitney M. Young, you talk about the Valley. Mount Vernon was the only place, you talk about West 4th Street, Mount Vernon was the only place whose tournament could rival those tournaments. You talking about a place in Westchester, they would leave West 4th Street, leave Dykeman, leave Rucker, leave all those places to come play in Mount Vernon. They have a game down there and they say, yo, we can't miss Mount Vernon. And they get up there and play in Mount Vernon. Standing room only. People sitting on the fences. I wish we could have had some of that film where guys are sitting on the fences watching those games. But in the sense that this is how, the reason why you call it a rivalry is only because it's Westchester. I mean, if you're talking about being competitive year in, year out, then it's not a rivalry. But it's a rivalry because it's Westchester. If you ask the city teams what team is a rivalry up in Westchester, they're going to say Mount Vernon. They're not going to say Yonkers and Rochelle. It's that we were always competitive with everybody. Like Yonkers might have a team for 2 years. Rochelle might have a team for 2 years. But do you realize Mount Vernon has 37 gold balls? That's it. So what other school? No other school probably got more than 4. 13 New York State and 6 Federation championships for 4 square miles. 13 New York State. That's saying that we played the best of the best. Federation saying that we beat the best in New York City or the best in Long Island. Mount Vernon, 4 square mile.
Well, you was there. You was a witness. You know what I mean? So I can run it down for the peoples. You know, I transferred to my junior year, the end of my junior year. So, you know, I left Fort Hollows, you know, a Catholic school. But the funny thing is, we all played together for all this. We played together for about 3-4 years. That's what niggas ain't know. So that's when been trying to get me to the high school since freshman. Mama wasn't having that. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, I got kicked out of Catholic school on purpose, my nigga. Just so I could go play with my guy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way I was going to get to Mount Vernon High School. I had to get kicked out.
What year was that?
That was 90 going in 91. Arnold Hayes, Jamal Mashburn and them at Fordham. So, but coach ain't do me right, so I ain't feel like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't really let me play my game, so I ain't really, but like I said, my mama wasn't having that. You know what I'm saying? But me, Dean, Rasul, and Big Dave, and Brian Pritchard all played together for years, but they acted like we playing that. I ain't playing that. You know what I'm saying? It just happened. You know what I mean? And then that summer, before the senior year, we all played summer league together. Remember, we was always together, my G, you know what I'm saying? Boys Club, Washington School, Davis, 4th Street Park, all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? So the Vernon, it was different from the Bronx. You know, the Bronx is huge where I came from, you know what I'm saying? So the community wasn't that tight. You just played ball, you went about your business, you know what I mean? The Vernon, when I've been living in the Vernon, but I never came on that side. You know what I'm saying? I just usually stayed to the Bronx, went to Harlem, played with my Harlem niggas, do my Riverside AAU, whatever. But Russ used to always tell me, yo, B, I need you to come to the Vernon, yo. Plus, I knew Derek and Eric and them from the boys club. And they used to always be like, yo, you should I was like, yo, that ain't gonna happen. My mama ain't having that, bro. Y'all don't know my mama, man. You know what I mean? But I got kicked out of school on purpose, my G, to go play with my G's. Because I knew what we could do. You know what I'm saying? Because we all played together already. So that season, before the season even started, you know, it was a big controversy. Like, we got recruited to come to Mount Vernon High School. Ain't nobody never recruited me. I ain't never seen damn Coach Reef until I got to the high school. And niggas introduced me. He was like, oh, you such and such. And then when I played in open gym, he was like, oh, shit. They acted like we got recruited or whatever. Nah, we just knew each other. You know what I'm saying? What surprised me, you know, Big Dave was the first one to go there. Then, what surprised me was when I seen that Dean Marshman transferred, my nigga. I didn't believe that. Because, you know, his pops and moms was strict as hell, too. You know what I'm saying? But he was like in the same boat as me. Coach was Jay jerking him, even though he was, he played varsity from since he was a freshman getting numbers. You know what I mean? Dean was always getting buckets. You know what I'm saying? But he wanted to win. But, you know, the team I played with, we ain't lose. You know what I mean? You know, I played with Charnel Scott. I played with some good, nice dudes, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, like you said, that 90-91 season was a classic, my G. Because at the end of the day, the camaraderie was so crazy. It was like we already knew where each other was going to be, my G. You know what I'm saying? It was like when I had the rock, I knew where Russ was going to be at. I know when he was going to cut. I know when to throw the hoop. He knew when I just had to give him the eye to go back door. You know what I'm saying? I knew where Dean was at spotting up. I knew where Pritchard was going to be at on the post or mid-range jump shot. It was easy. Yo, Ed. Yo, you know we used to go to schools to play, and you know when you walk in the gym, the game was already over before it started? Because the layup line alone used to just watch the other team looking at us like, oh, my God. Like, they was at an all-star game or something. They was like, damn, son. I used to see it in niggas' faces when we walked in the gym like, oh, shit. There they go. There they go. And, yo, we started, remember, they booked us to go to VA. Ain't nobody thought we was going to win that tournament, my G. Because they had some superstar, big-time playing down there. Mm-hmm. Man, we got down there, Ed, man. I swear we was in the gym. God tell you, man. The whole team would tell you we in the gym. These ain't know who we was. But they so happened to be the team we were supposed to play the next day, my G. And we sat right next to these watching, like, the other games. You know how you do. And these niggas is talking mad shit. And I'm feeding into it, though. I'm like, word? They like, yo, we from D.C., blase, blah. We play songs from Mount Vernon. I ain't never held Mount Vernon. So I'm sitting there like, oh, word? Y'all play Mount Vernon? They're like, yeah, I don't know. They from somewhere upstate New York or whatever. But you're going to beat the brakes off tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, for real, my G? So me and Black laughing like, yo. And C. Brown, we like, yo, you know we from Mount Vernon, right? You know you play us tomorrow. Yo, them dudes was like, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, yo, part of my language, but we like, yo, you know you done fucked up now. Yo, man, about to be a straight fight in the gym before we even seen them. It's like, what? We like, yo, y'all talking all that bullshit, so know what y'all about to fear. Yo, Ed, If we had the videotape of that game, we demolished them. I'm talking about me and Black throwing shit off the backboard. Yo, shit was ridiculous, my G. But after that game, everybody was like, oh, VA had Junior Burrow. And he ended up going to University of Virginia. I think he played like a couple of years in the league. Then they had some other big, about 6'10". Big then. Big man was prosperous back then. You know that. Right. It was a big man's game. Right. That is 6'9", 6'10". But Big Dave, he was only 6'4", but you wasn't moving that. And he was a beast. That heart. Big Dave don't give you was 7 foot. You ain't camping out down here. You ain't posting them up. You ain't getting nothing easy, dog. And he know he got his helpers anyway. You know what I mean? Yo, and we talk every day. We talk like we talking now, Yo, son, you see what he do? He spin move all the time, B. Make him spin, I got him. You make him spin, I'll be right there. You know what I'm saying? Especially like Westchester County. That was a walk. That was like, we come through, it was like, oh boy. Well, I kind of knew about the rivalry from, being around. But that first game, when they came to our gym, because I didn't play the second game because I was suspended. But the first game, when everybody from the hood, the gym was standing room only, and the newspapers up. When we came downstairs, you had to come downstairs from the locker room to the gym. When we stood there, because they had that pep rally that day too, I think. And my G, when I stood in the tunnel, my G, and I heard you know what I'm saying? You heard the roar. And we ran out to that joint, son. I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yo, Ed, they want no problem. They thought they were, you know what I mean? Rasheen Young thought he was, him and his little brother, they thought they was built. And Sean Poole had done transferred. So, Sean Poole wanted that smoke too. After the first quarter, second quarter, them niggas was ready to pack it up and head back to New Road, man. Hey, I remember off the tip, the jump ball. We got the jump ball. It's me and Rush and Sean Poole back on D. I tried to throw it off the glass to Black, but he missed it, man. I was like, oh my, because we wanted to do Sean Poole dirty. You know how we... Yo, you know what I mean? I might be your friend, but not today. But not to hold you, the second game that was in New Road, they almost beat us. You know that, right? Because I didn't play. I was at the game. I was at the game up in the stands playing tongue. Yo, Ed, I was up in the joint playing tongue, so everybody looking at me like, you know what I mean? But I got the hoodie on. I was kind of hood with it. You know how that be, man. Right. The hoodie on. I'm in the cut. I'm looking like whatever, man. So Black and Dean, they doing their thing, but this is nip and tuck. Yo, that's the game. Black shot the 3-quarter at the buzzer to win the game, me. They almost ended the streak, bro. Walk off. I'm up in the roof, and the rafters like, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. You know what I mean? Even though I wasn't playing, I ain't want that shit to end. You feel me? At your age and at their age, you was more talented than any one of them. But you throwing it all away. You're running behind the wrong people and this and that. And as a 17-year-old, about to be 18, I'm looking at these niggas like, whatever, man. I don't want to hear that shit, man. I'm trying to be with my friends, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that. I don't give a damn about nothing about no NBA. I don't give a damn about none of that. I don't give a damn about who going to college and I'm throwing away all the scholarships. I just was having fun and then realized the big picture. The tragic part, when my brother died, I was in school. I was in college when he got killed. You know what I'm saying? I had to go the JUCO route. And the funny shit about the JUCO route, I went to 4 JUCOs in 1 year. The first JUCO I went to, Odessa, Texas, the joint Larry Johnson went to. Right after he left, I ended up out there. They then rebuilt the gym, everything. The coach never seen me play. He got a phone call from, I think it might have been Lowe's or one of them that was out there somewhere and was like, yo, I know this young man, you know what I mean? He got game, but he just be. So coach was like, yo, all right, send him out here. I jumped on a plane, went out there. I mean, I got out there, my niggas was long, man. Like, I see niggas 6'10", 6'9", 6'8". Yo, I'm looking like, yo, this shit is like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, shit. I played on the control. You couldn't speed me up or slow me down. I played in gears, you know what I'm saying? I downshift, upshift. Like, yo, you left-handed? I'm like, nah. I just dribble with the left, and when I cross over to the right, you over. You know what I'm saying? But the left was the control hand. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, with the tragedy, life goes on. You know what I'm saying, bro? It been going on 24 years. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta take the good with the bad, man. You know what I'm saying? I always like, it's like I kept it too real.
You was one of the cats that made me come back to high school to watch y'all. I had to come. When I seen you and Rasul, I had to come back from college to watch y'all. Yeah.
Thank you, my brother, because at the end of the day, you just said it. You wasn't the only one. It was many that said, yo, I'm only coming out here to watch y'all boys. You got, you know what I mean? You got Rick Burton. Rick Burton even jumped on the coaching ship, nigga. Like, yo, these young boys is dangerous, you know what I mean?
Okay, hey, much love, CO. I love you, Hood. All right, much love.